It's James Steinhubel, TVU with the Pet Channel, and we have Ian Sprague, owner of Meika's Birdhouse. How you doing today, sir?
We're doing really good. Really good.
And who do you got there with you?
This is Zazu. Zazu's a little sun conure, sun parakeet. It's been with us for a little while now, and another one that's looking for a home.
Awesome. That's good. That's good. That's good. So, you're involved with, a living product. You've got staff, you've got customers coming, going, tell us how have you guys been handling COVID and how's it going for you?
Yeah, COVID's been a new challenge for us. So basically what we've had to do, just simply because of the nature of the store, is that the area where these guys are housed, we've kind of had to close off for the public because it ends up it's just too tight of an area. You end up with 5 people in a very small space, and it's just bad news. And we try to limit the amount of people in the store period to about 8 people tops, including the people working. So we've closed off the bird area. If somebody wants to meet one of the birds, we kind of ask that they call ahead, and we arrange for the bird to be out of that area, and we'll get it done. We're doing a lot of curbside stuff, a lot of deliveries, and things of that nature. And but we've kind of left it up to the consumer how what their comfort zone is. I've never washed my hands or washed my counter many times as I had in the last little while.
Yes.
A lot of we have a what do you call that? A spray that we spray down, a disinfectant spray.
Yeah.
That we sprayed everything down regularly, and after every customer, we're putting our debit machines in plastic bags and all that kind of stuff. It's been a learning curve.
No, and you've taken a lot of steps. On your webpage, you describe gloves and masks and desanitizers and your desanitizer.
Yeah, all that's available at the door.
And your process after customers leave. It's very very responsible, but very business savvy too, right? So it is interesting, and you don't seem to be worse for wear. It's just something that you've added to business, and it's go forward.
Yeah, well, it's good. We can't sit there and worry about it. We have to keep going forward. But there's been a definite reduction in business, because people are staying home, people aren't traveling, because that's another big part of our business. So there's been a lot of that kind of thing, but.
Oh, you got another one you got another guy that joined you. Who's this?
Yeah, who is that? That's Eli. He's an Indian ringneck. Don't quite know how that happened, but every now and then you get a surprise.
They know they're streaming live and on demand on TV.
I suppose, yeah.
That's awesome. You got new stars. It's awesome. Okay, so you've got a full suite of cause and business and everything mixed together. You guys are rescuing birds, you're rehabilitating them, but you also have a vibrant and active store. You've got birds to buy and adopt. In good times, you got bird cruises going. You got a store on your website. Just let people know about how you guys are engaging the marketplace and living something that you really believe in.
Well, at the heart of all of it is that we're really into conservation, bird conservation, period. Parrot conservation is really our passion. So when you see the cruise, that's a cruise that benefits the World Parrot Trust, and that's an organization that looks after parrots conservation programs all over the world. So that's where the cruise comes in. And here at the store, we do our best to help local conservation groups like the Edmonton Area Land Trust help our local birds, and so we kind of just sort of try to fit everything in, and conservation is what it's all about for us. As for the birds that are available here in the store, these are all guys that have we don't have baby birds, but these are birds that all had homes previously, and are looking for another home because of whatever's happened. We've had every story from, just people having to move for work. We've had people that have passed away. We've had, all host of reasons why these guys need new homes.
And for maybe the next show, we can be at the Bird Safe House, and you can introduce us to these very interesting individuals.
Absolutely.
But what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to share my screen, and I'm going to bring up the birds that are available for adoption. This is so interesting. So just bear with me.
Yeah, no worries.
And I'm hoping the internet cooperates today during this time. It's very busy. Do you see it?
I can see it. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, let me see if I can scroll. Okay, so the first one, we have no name, but he's a cockatiel. Anything?
Yeah.
Anything special? Who would this be good for, and what can people expect?
So the cockatiels that we have, even the first couple birds that you're going to see here on the website, these guys all came from a sanctuary that was in southern Alberta in Calgary, and basically they're I don't want to say they're wild birds, but they're semi-wild birds. They've been living in an aviary setting, not really handled by people very much.
Mm-hmm.
And that sanctuary, unfortunately, just the owners just couldn't keep up with it anymore. And he very responsibly, he wasn't a bad guy or anything like that, but he couldn't take it. He couldn't do it anymore. And so he got a hold of us, and we took in a bunch of these cockatiels. So these birds are half tame. Some, they'll be tame sometimes, and other times they're not. They're
so what's the untamed characteristics that they demonstrate?
Well, they're just scared of you. They'll just fly away from you. You won't get any of this stuff going on.
Okay. I thought maybe they're hunting through the house and
well, they'll do that too.
Setting up shop.
They'll do that too. Eh?
Okay. So now we've got some zebra finches.
Finches, yeah. And that's something that we always seem to have zebra finches around. They are birds that are they breed very readily, mm-hmm. and they're relatively cheap in the pet trade.
Mm-hmm.
So when people get them, and of course the greatest sales line, you can't just have one, you have to have two, right? And as soon as you do that, cages start shrinking pretty fast. Hey, yeah. So they are really prolific birds, so that you can end up with a lot of zebra finches in not a lot of time. So we usually have quite a few.
So not a bad project for maybe a school or somebody and then everyone wanted a bird after, or maybe
Yeah, but you also have to take into account it's an interesting process to see them hatch out a clutch and all that kind of stuff. But at the end, then you have this little living being that needs a home, and that's where things get tricky. Because I agree with I understand the thought of it's interesting to see the process, the nest building, the egg laying, and all that. But I think probably the responsible way to do that is just through the computer.
Maybe
David Attenborough will walk you through it.
Or maybe we could do one like
absolutely.
That would be great. Okay, so Indian ringnecks. This is what you have with you right now, wasn't it? Or
he's over here. Yeah, he's an Indian. Yeah, it's Eli. He's an Indian ringneck. Let's see if I can get him over here again. There he is.
They're so playful.
Now they can be.
This is so any age, so seniors,
mm-hmm.
Maybe empty nesters. A lot of us, our kids are growing up, and our grandkids are getting older, and is this a good pet for us?
It could be. It could be. The things you have to take into account is that if you're, of course, not in the world of COVID, we're not seeing it too often. But if you're traveling, you can't go easily. You cannot cross the border easily with these guys.
Oh, but I also saw something on your website that you do that kind of travel sitting, don't you? Or
absolutely.
Okay, that's good. You've got so many interesting guys and girls here too that need places. This Patrick, this Electus, he's very interesting looking.
Yeah, well, beautiful bird.
What's he like? Is he a squawker, a singer? What does he do?
Well, none of these parrots are really singers. I would never. Well, they might think they're singers, but it's not a good sound.
Some are louder though. Some have more of a.
Yeah, they can be pretty loud. Patrick's not that loud. He has loud moments where it's shockingly loud, but it doesn't last very long. Thank goodness.
There are so many. So we're talking about like a diet, a cage, some sort of the accoutrement that goes with it, little furniture that they need. What's a guy looking at, a person looking like for getting set up for, let's say we're
So
looking at
you'll
this,
notice on our website,
yeah.
a lot of these guys are cage vet check microchips included. So they come supplied. They're ready to go for most of these big guys, right?
Okay.
For the smaller guys, like the cockatiels, you'd be looking at a reasonable cage. We can have you set up here pretty quickly, usually for around $200.
That's so reasonable.
Yeah.
Look at this, this Eurasian collared dove.
Yeah, that's Boromir.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
Now, do they recognize, like doves and pigeons and all these are very similar? Would this bird recognize, you know how we recognize each other? When birds are looking out the window, do they recognize other birds as birds?
Well,
you don't know, like, do they get so? You think so? Interesting.
I think so. It's kind of a hot topic, you know, because birds see quite a bit differently. They see to the ultraviolet.
Okay.
So what we see, they don't see. So a bird that you might be looking out the window and you see a black crow, in all actuality, that bird is, you know, to another bird is probably, you know, reds and purples, really vibrant looking. Yeah. So we can't really see what they see. So I have a funny feeling that they can very easily tell, you know, predators from other prey species birds. They can very easily tell. They just see so much better than we do.
You know, when I was a young dad in Sherwood Park here, at the end of one of the streets that we'd go by at the Max, right, there was a family, and they had many parrots, and they were in different bedrooms, and they each had different characters, and they would speak, they would make sound, you know, they were talking, they knew who was coming by, but they had the cats and dogs on the go, man. I'm telling you, that's why I was wondering if, I know they know cats and dogs. I was wondering if the birds, if they start to socialize, you know, around that home because of
absolutely,
you know, interesting. So
absolutely.
good. I'm really looking forward to meeting some of these. I've got other things of your webpage that were of interest, but now it looks like we're getting here's where you're talking about what you've done for COVID. So good.
Yeah.
So we're Meika's birdhouse.com is what we're looking at right now. Well, I'll get Ian to give all the contact information at the end. But that was so encouraging. And then the store, it was. Let's hopefully this seems like we're getting a little bit of lag time.
Yeah.
And what it was the shop? What was it? Shop. Look at that. Look at the products that you have here and listed. You've put a lot of time into your store, and it seems to be very usable. What now in the time that we're in, what have you noticed on your online that's picked up, and what is what's more of an interest now that we're at home, that people are engaging with your store? What are you seeing?
Well, I think I find that the food is really taken off. Some of it might be, the toilet paper syndrome, where we got to make sure we have enough in case Armageddon or anything like that. Yes. But so food is the thing that's keeping us going right now. As for the other little products, they're coming along. It's starting to pick up now.
Yeah.
But primarily food is what people are looking for online right now during the COVID situation.
That's good. That's good that you're there and that you're practicing all the safe business practices, which is good. So, as we come to, I'm going to ask you a couple more questions after I get you to share a few words. But what I would like to get from you is any words of wisdom and knowledge coming from a man who's been in business in this community a long time, who's very active also around. I've seen you at many trade events outside of Sherwood Park. So you're a regional businessman as well. You've pivoted, and you've adopted safe business practices for the COVID. So you're thriving. So what can you share with our viewers and listeners that would be helpful at this time?
I guess my biggest word of advice for anybody during this, even because there's different people, some take it very seriously, some are kind of lackadaisical, but for everybody, I think the biggest thing to be is be patient. What I worry about is that we're so eager to get back to normal that we go too far too fast and we end up knocking ourselves right back to the beginning again. That's my big worry. You know, I'd rather be cautious and it go a little bit slower, and we come out of this instead of, you know, people are looking at June, maybe if it starts in July, after Canada Day, we start, you know, ramping back up again. I just don't want to get into a situation where we say, oh, you know, we look good now, and start all over again, because, you know, it's been a pretty difficult time for everybody.
Yeah, that's such those are such wise words. So we've got Meika's Birdhouse. You've got a place that you can drop off your birds when you go on holidays. You got a place that you can adopt birds. You've got a place that you can get all your food and supplies. And Ian, how do they get a hold of you?
All right. Well, you can get a hold of me here at the store, 780-416-4435. You can get a hold of us on any of the social media platforms. We've really been ramping that up during this COVID thing. So it's our Facebook page, Meika's Birdhouse. And then we also have the Twitter page at Meika's Bird. You know, so all these things are good ways to get a hold of us. And, you know, we're always around. Or you can just come down to the store as well.
Excellent. And where's the store located? I know exactly where it is, but.
Yeah, it is on Orridge Road, just across the street from the Orridge Business Transit Center.
Easy to find, great people to deal with. Ian Sprague, Meika's Birdhouse with James Steinhubel on TVU, the Pet Channel. Thank you so kindly, sir. Look forward to our next visit with the rest of the all our new friends.
Yeah, let me know who you want to visit with, and I'll make sure they're here.
Thank you, sir. Talk to you soon.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Bye now.
All right, bye.